Thank you to Big Sky Economic Development for supporting The Vault at 201 North Broadway. Big Sky Economic Development is the community's economic development organization. BSED's mission is to sustain and grow our region's vibrant economy and outstanding quality of life by providing leadership and resources for business creation, expansion, retention, new business recruitment, workforce development, and community development. Learn more and connect with BSED at bigskyeconomicdevelopment.org.
I'm overwhelmed every day with joy and with love and passion and understanding that you can do something you love to do. Don't let anybody ever tell you you can't. There are a lot of people who tell your whole life you can't do it and you'll never amount to anything. And it's whether or not you decide to accept that as the reality or you choose to get through it.
The following is a Big Sky Economic Development production.
It's Mars B.
And Kavo.
And this is The Vault at 201 North Broadway.
A business podcast
where we bring you entrepreneurs, small business owners, and community leaders of Montana.
You don't want to miss this.
Learn how to better start, manage, and grow your business.
And your leadership style.
Tangible takeaways to save you time and improve whatever it is that you're working on.
You're listening to The Vault.
Joining us today on The Vault is the amazing Nick Steen, owner and chef of Walker's Grill.
Our favorite place. Well, my favorite place. And I'm not just saying that because you're here.
I hear it's the question to someone's favorite place in Billings at a baby shower. So it's the question.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Ashley.
I
got it immediately. Mm-hmm.
You're like, I know this one.
It was a tiebreaker question and I won. I beat all of her lifelong friends. I was like, I know Ashley better than all of you because I know her favorite restaurant.
Oh,
mine too. I've had big moments there, like my college graduation, my family dinner was there, lots of things. So we love Walker's.
We've celebrated awards we've got for the podcast there.
Yeah.
We're in there a lot.
I love Walker's.
Yeah. I know. I figured.
So, Nick, we like to get to know and have our audience get to know our guests and really how they got to where they are. So tell us a little bit about where you grew up and what that was like for you growing up, wherever you were.
Yeah. So I'm born and raised in Billings, actually. I graduated high school and never had a dream of being in this industry at all, but it just kind of worked out that way. I worked in a Pizza Hut in high school and
Which Pizza Hut? The one on Grand?
North 27th. It's actually not there anymore.
Oh, okay.
It's now a parking lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Intermountain Health or St. V's or whoever it was at the time.
Oh, okay.
Tore it down and put it into a parking lot because I need more space. I was like, well, yeah, I was a 16-year-old kid working there. And then, I kind of born and raised in the restaurant life. My mom ran bars and restaurants when I was young and I never wanted to do it. I mean, I almost failed home ec.
Oh, no.
Oh, you guys had home ec. That's good.
Because it was like...
How many times James Beard nominee now?
3 now. 3-time James Beard guy fails home ec because he doesn't want to make no-bake cookies.
Yeah. It was because you don't want to clean the KitchenAid and the way they tell you to clean the KitchenAid. That's how mine was.
The cleaning part was fine. The classroom setting was boring. I struggled a lot with just this idea that you had to just do this recipe and you couldn't alter it. You couldn't change it. I was like, this is boring. No-bake cookies are stupid.
I haven't had a no-bake cookie, but I'm like, yeah.
You've never had a no-bake cookie?
I have. We did these in home ec. I'm just like, it's been like probably since high school.
Oh, God, they're so bad.
When you had to make them,
They're so bad.
My home ec experience was I wanted to make guacamole, and she gave me a packet.
I think that says a lot.
So my biggest thing that they ask you in the beginning of the semester, what is the one thing you'll learn how to cook? Well, I'd probably eaten one steak in my entire life at this point. I was like, I want to learn how to cook steak. I want to learn how to cook a steak.
It's really
now
good.
I'm like, I don't want to cook steak ever again. I'm so sick of cooking steak. But yeah, I mean, it's been quite the journey. I mean, growing up in the bar business with my mom running them and hustling drunk guys for pool and taking their money. And
I love that for your mom.
Yeah. My mom hustled, man. She was a grinder. Still is, I guess, but yeah.
So you worked at Pizza Hut. You were kind of exposed from your mom's line of work and her managing bars and restaurants.
But you didn't go right into the restaurant industry.
No, man. I wanted to go to school to be a doctor. I was a pre-med major.
Holy buckets.
And where did you graduate from for our Billings people listening? I love this question because I love how people answer it.
Don't judge me, but I am a Skyview graduate.
That's funny that you're like, okay, that's funny.
Usually
okay.
I feel like it's...
Nobody has any Skyview pride. They don't care. Like, there's no crosstown rivalry with Skyview. Nobody gives a shit.
You guys are on the hill. It's okay. You can say it.
Yeah, you can.
Nobody gives a shit about Skyview.
You guys are like this one on the hill.
Yeah, I don't. It was my high school.
My siblings are Skyview people, so.
Yeah, it's, you know, the thing with Skyview is it was there. High school was a journey. I'm glad it's over. Those people who felt like those were their best days of their life, I'm like, dude, you're missing out on so much more life.
Yeah.
High school was just the stepping stone to get to where life got really cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I graduated high school, went to school to be a doctor, dropped out after 1 year of college because I really hated going to class.
And where were you at? Did
MSU.
you stay? Oh, cool. In Bozeman or?
In Bozeman, yeah. I stuck around in Montana to go ski. I was a ski bum. I lived on the mountain. I worked at the Yellowstone Club as a line cook and got a job up there. And then they got a free ski pass. And then you skied every day at work. And so I'd go to work at 6 a.m., work till 1 or 2, ski till 4, and then work at night, and then drive home, go to class the next day, all day, study at night, wake up the next morning and repeat the work day. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday was class. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday was work.
Wow.
Yeah.
And maybe sleep on Sunday, but who knows?
I mean, it was ski season. You just win every day.
Yeah. And if you had a pass, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And you get to ski for free at the Yellowstone Club. Like, it was the coolest gig ever.
Yeah.
That's very like bougie.
So then I dropped out of school and was like, I like cooking. This is cool. And somebody said I was good at it. So I was going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And, 19 years old, living in Bozeman, decide I'm going to go out and do my thing. I get a job working at a country club over there, Riverside Country Club. I think I started in April and I was fired in late May.
April, okay.
Started working at Johnny Carino's, flipping pans and making lasagnas and doing the whole corporate thing. And
that's a different world than just a local restaurant.
Yeah, it was not cool. I mean, there were some great parts. I learned a lot of great things about being a badass line cook, but I didn't learn. There was no creativity involved, so it was really.
You had your cookie cutter recipes.
Yeah, and it was a lifestyle. Like, it was definitely like, if you've ever seen. What was that Ryan Reynolds movie where he's in the restaurant business? Waiting.
Oh, I'll
what
watch
a movie.
it. I can't believe I haven't seen
That's how
it.
it is. Like, servers and cooks basically just hated each other, but they'd party all night, every night together. And I was down there for like a year and a half. Then I got transferred to the Billings store to help that out. And I worked down here and lived at the hotel for 3 months. And it was a whole, And then I went back to the Yellowstone Club, and I kind of kept going back and forth to the Yellowstone Club, and then living in Bozeman and doing my thing. And then I never looked back.
Mm-hmm.
It was
like, I found my place.
Yeah, I was really good at it. I had fun with it, and it was something that allowed you to be creative. You didn't have to go to school for it. And at a young age, I was able to work my way up and like get into leadership roles where I was making more money and I had more opportunity to do things. And I met really cool people along the way. And I mean, it was worth a 21-year-old kid that lives and works in a restaurant. You party a lot. You have a lot of fun. You have no responsibilities. You don't care. It was the coolest thing that ever happened. And then I grew up.
Yeah. And you realize, wow, going, that's a rough life to live forever.
I look at a glass of wine. I'm like, okay, all right, get ready for tomorrow.
Where's the water? Where's the water? Some element packs. Yeah. So
making Gatorade teenies.
Some supplements.
There's a story I can't tell a podcast about that. There's some serious truth to that one.
Yep.
So were there people during that like early part of your career in your like early, like late teens, early 20s that kind of helped you, role models, mentors, things like that?
So there's a guy by the name of Chuck Schomer, and Chuck was the first chef that I really met in Big Sky at Loma, or at the Yellowstone Club. And Chuck had been the chef of Buck's T4 for a long time. And Buck's was award winning. He was actually the first chef from Montana to ever be recognized by the James Beard Foundation. And so
cool.
He was sent, they asked him to go cook at the Beard House in, I think it was 2001, somewhere in there, right before I met him in 2003. And first chef ever from Montana to be invited out there. So, fast forward here 22 years later, it's pretty cool to see like the guy that got me in the business, that made me fall in love with it, is now a mentor and a friend. And I look up to him more than anybody in the world. And he's probably the most proud of me of anybody that's not my wife.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's so cool.
It's really
It's really
special.
nice to have that person that kind of goes with you.
Yeah, and he, he carried me along all the time too. Whenever I was like, I needed a job, I didn't like where I was at. He called Chuck. Oh, yep, you're hired. Start tomorrow. Like I didn't have to ever stress it.
Yeah.
For interview, like he's like, I got you. Don't
I've
worry.
interviewed for probably 2 jobs in my whole life.
It's just kind of like who you know, and then getting into it,
Yeah.
they know you, and then they want you.
And it's a lot different in the restaurant industry because experiences lapses everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if I don't have to teach you a lot,
Yeah,
then I'm going to do it.
and work ethic. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just something to be said about somebody who will come in and grind. And in this industry, especially back then, it was cooks are a dime a dozen. There's a whole bunch of them, and you just cycle through the same ones, or they move on. You just find the next warm body to fill a role. And I knew that, so I was like, well, I'm going to go outwork the other warm bodies and just hustle and make the overtime money and work my butt off. And yeah, I have nothing to show for any of the hard work I did back then financially, but it got me pretty far where I am today.
So you did talk about that that you were working hard, you had some leadership positions. So tell me, for those listening, and myself included, that's not as familiar with the back end of a restaurant, was that then you kind of creating menu items and building out menus and doing some of that work? Like, what did that entail for you?
Yeah, so I mean, it kind of depends on the restaurant, the style. So my first real leadership role was at Johnny Carino's. I got into what they called the kitchen leader, or they transitioned the name. We used to be the sous chef, and then they called it a kitchen leader. Essentially, you wrote schedules and you were in charge of the staff, and you had to save labor and cut people and not cut them with a knife, but like cut their shifts.
Cut their shift,
Yes, so I'm not cutting people with knives, guys.
Wow.
You will work harder.
I wanted to. So your role at that point was just to make sure you managed the day-to-day operations of the kitchen. And then as I moved up, I worked at a place called Louis and Under in Bozeman. I became a true sous chef at like a fine dining restaurant. So my job there was to cover the days off of the chef, manage the kitchen in his absence, create specials, work on new menu items, things like that. That place, ironically, that guy told me I'd never make it. I'd never amount to anything. And now he flips burgers somewhere in Livingston. I own a restaurant and I've got 3 James Beard nods. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, Marv. You kind of shit the bed on that one, buddy. You could have done this, but you didn't do it.
Isn't it nice we can be like, ha.
I never wanted to, but I look back now, I'm like, that guy, what an asshole.
There's always one.
I feel like everyone has one of those in your life, and you're like, thank you for telling me I would never kid anywhere. I am.
I tell all my favorite people in this business, you get one glorious quit in your life where you just get to like blow the place up, throw a Molotov cocktail and a kind of thing, and just walk out the door. And this was during Hatch Fest in Bozeman, which is one of the biggest weeks of the year. It's a Friday night. There's 300 people on the books. It's packed. It's 5:30, and we're cooking. And I'd made a dish this week, and it was a risotto dish, and he'd never actually made risotto. This guy owned a restaurant, never made risotto. That's like basic 101 cooking. Okay, it's not.
I mean, I'm not bad, but I can make risotto. It's pretty good.
It's not complicated. But his thing was just throw it in the steamer and let it steam. And well, if you know anything about that, it just turns it into mush because the starches don't work. There's a whole lot anyway. He yells at me, "You cook this stuff like shit. You don't know what you're doing." And I said, "Dude, you're the idiot. You're throwing a steamer, dumbass. Don't do that. You need to actually cook the dish and stir it." And he's like, "If you don't like the way I do things in my kitchen, you can get the hell out." I said, "You know what? Fuck you." And I threw my chef coat on the workstation. I walked out through the middle of the restaurant. It's this big, long tunnel kind of looking restaurant. So it's probably 50 feet wide and 200 feet long, 300 feet long. I don't know. It's long.
It reminds me of Plunk in Bozeman, where it's just like that shotgun.
And you just walk the whole way down. The kitchen's at the back, and then the very far end is the office. And I walked out there to the owner's desk because there was 2 owners, the front of house guy and then Marvin, the chef. And I said, "I'm done. I'll be here to collect my paycheck next week." And he's like, "Oh, pal, anything I can do to keep you?" I said, "Yeah, fire him, keep me, and I'll stay and I'll work every day. I don't care." And he's like, "Well, I can't do that." I was like, "Okay, then I'll be here next week." I walked back through the kitchen, looked at him through the middle of the restaurant, middle fingers in the air, like straight out of a rock star movie.
What a mic drop moment for you.
Oh, it was totally a mic drop. Got on my Harley in the back door and
It's even better.
What a mic drop,
Yep.
The motorcycle really made it better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was epic. And I looked at the guys in the back, 2 of which were my roommates, and I said, "Sorry guys." And they're like, "What are you doing?" I said, "Dude, I'd had it."
Yeah.
6
He
months.
can't cook risotto. I'm out of here.
Well,
But it's like compounding.
Yeah, I had enough of being treated like an idiot and told I was no good and told that you suck. And I can't do that. I can only take it for so long before I was like, you know what? And that guy was abusive to everybody emotionally and mentally. He just break you down and try to make you feel like shit and cover up the fact that he couldn't do the job. And I was like, that's it. I'm done. They closed the doors in a year and a half later.
Wow.
Shoot.
Because I think everyone else probably was too.
They were
were done.
you empowered them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
So from that experience, how's that shaped your leadership in your own kitchens?
So whether it was a kitchen or anything I've ever done, it even translates to coaching kids in hockey. It's like, be the person that you want to be treated like and treat people with respect, whether they're 12 or 62. It doesn't matter. You treat people with respect and you get respect back. You earn respect. You don't deserve anything, and that's a big part of it for me. And I used to be the guy who yelled and screamed and threw things at people because that's how you learned.
Yeah.
And
and that's just like kitchen mentality, you're kind of taught that.
Yeah. It's changed a lot though. And I think that it's important that it has. There's still levels of expectations and people need to step up and do things. But, there's a stint in the middle of my culinary career where I was a firefighter. And that's a whole nother story. But
yeah, I want to hear about it.
From fires in the kitchen.
Real stress is being EMT.
Yeah.
I was
like
City
that.
of Belgrade.
City. Okay, cool.
City of Belgrade, Central Valley Fire. It was in structural firefighter. We went into burning buildings and we did EMS. And real stress is somebody dying.
Yeah.
And you're doing CPR on them. That's stressful. Table 20s, foie gras is taking 13 minutes is not stressful. That's an inconvenience. Get your shit right.
Yeah.
And so as you learn what real stress is and you weigh the differences, right? Everybody has their different weights where, what is the end of the world for somebody might just be a Tuesday for somebody else. And for me as a leader, it was like, let's treat people with the reality of what situation we're in. We're in a kitchen and we're in a restaurant and we're going to have fun. And we have the coolest job in the world. We get to go walk in and work every day and choose to be here. No one forces you to be in this place, especially at Walker's. Somebody forces you. You don't want to be there, go.
Yeah.
There will be always somebody to pick up the slack who wants to be in that kind of kitchen. And when you treat people that way and you build them up instead of put them down, you get way more out of them. I mean, my chef does cuisine at Walker's, John Baldwin. He's been with me for almost 10 years now.
Wow.
Matter of fact, this most recent James Beard thing, I called the foundation. I said, I want his name on there because he'd been doing the work for the last year.
I saw that. Yeah.
It was a big deal for me to say, look, he has earned the right to have his name on that list right next to me. It's not a one-man show. And there's a little bit of a stink about it because he hates his name in the media. He just hates having his name out there. He just wants to be the guy behind the scenes and just do the work. But for me, it's like, that's a selfish plug. That's the coolest thing ever. So as a leader, getting to build the next generation of leaders is the coolest thing, and mentoring them that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't treat people bad. Treat them well, and they'll always come back.
Well, yeah, if you build them up, you're helping them build loyalty to you, and they feel they have a sense of the mission that's happening in the space, and so they just have more pride to do it. They want to be there. They want to work.
It's in any industry, whether it's banking or hospitality industry, it doesn't matter. Like we've all had that boss, quote unquote, that boss, and they're not fun.
No,
I don't
sure
like
aren't. No,
I don't like them, and I don't ever want to be that guy. And I've had my moments, and there are definitely people that think that I'm that guy, and I'm okay with that, knowing that at the end of the day, like there's a larger majority that don't think I am. But I'm stubborn. I'm pretty bullheaded. But it's got me a long ways, and I'm very collaborative. I will listen. I will do everything I can. But at the end of the day, if you just have your one objective and your one agenda, and you don't want to listen to anybody else, you're not going to work well with me, and we're going to butt heads, and you are going to hate me because it is not about one person. It's about the team.
Yeah.
And overall. So you mentioned Walker's, and we want to know, what was that, before we get into the now of Walker's, how did you come to be at Walker's? What was that journey to Walker's? So you had a stint firefighting, which is cool.
So I'll pick up from Johnny Carino's, basically back to the Yellowstone Club. Then I go to Louis and Under. Do that thing, have my glorious quit.
Have your mic drop moment.
Glorious quit,
yeah. My
glorious
Molotov cocktail.
Quick. Yeah. It's really good.
I jump on my motorcycle. I drive. I see my wife, I guess girlfriend at the time, and she's working at a lumber store. And I say, hey, by the way, I quit. And she's like, it's a Friday night. What are you doing here? And I was like, oh, I quit my job. She says, no, you didn't. I said, I just quit my job.
I did.
She's like, are you an idiot? I said, nope, I couldn't take anymore. She said, okay, what are you going to do? I said, oh, I have an interview in 10 minutes. I'm just like, want to say hi. It's at 6:00 at night.
Just wanted to let you know what was going on.
I made one phone call. They're like, hey, can you jump on the line tonight? And I said, no, but I'll be here tomorrow. And I said, okay, cool. Didn't even have to interview. I just drove in and had a job the next day. Didn't even miss a day of work.
There you go.
And I did that thing for 3-4 months. And then I was back up at the Yellowstone Club because ironically, Chuck was sitting at the bar at this restaurant, and he had the dinner special and he said, I want to know who made this. Like, and the bartender at the time is this guy, Jerry. He's been a buddy of mine for years ever since this. And he says, oh, that's this guy in the back, Nick. He's this hotshot dude we just picked up like a month ago. I swear to God, that guy could serve you a pile of shit and you'd think it's the best thing you've ever eaten. I don't know where we found him or how we keep him, but he's the best. He said, wait, Nick, is he like tattoos and like mohawk, black hair and kind of punk rock dude? Yeah, Nick Steen? Oh yeah, you know him? He's like, tell him to come out here and say hi. And I go out and it's Chuck and he's like, what is this? I said, oh, I've been doing this for years. And he's like, well, if you're bored, you know, I'm hiring. He said, when you want me to start? I quit this job at the spot. Left it.
Not a glorious quit.
Yeah, it wasn't glorious. I worked it out for a week.
Yeah.
And I was back at the club again and doing my thing there. And then I opened this place called a Weebies Cafe in Bozeman, which is no longer there. Now I think it's a architecture building. It's right next to the Ridge in Bozeman. And they didn't know what they were. Okay. They were a coffee shop, fine dining, lunch place that also did barbecues and catering and wedding cakes.
Seems confused.
It was
no focus.
The idea was Weeby this, Weeby that, and I was thinking Weeby broke as shit and Weeby out of business. So
funny how that works out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's
then,
too much. People are too confused.
I did that. I started that job in early 2008, and in August of 2009, I think it was 3 weeks before my wedding, I get laid off. And I spent the next 10 months unemployed. My first job back was selling vacuum cleaners door to door.
Wow.
Kirby's?
Kirby vacuum cleaners. Kirby's. You know what's up.
Mm-hmm. My mom fell victim to that.
Dude,
they're great vacuums.
They're really good.
They're great vacuums, but they are heavy and they always crunch my ankles.
Like are in the middle of nowhere and someone stops by and she's like, so I bought a vacuum. And I was like, of course you did.
Yeah, well, you know what? That
she probably still has the vacuum. Yeah.
They're the shit.
Yeah. Heavy.
I want someone to knock on my door.
I'm sell you a Kirby.
Okay?
Yeah.
I've been waiting since 2010 for somebody to knock on my door.
All you Kirby salesmen listening.
Dude, I want one. I don't even have carpet. I only have hardwood floors in my house, but I really want one.
I'm sure we can, yeah.
So I want one because I want to buy one for the poor pastor that has to go to door to door and sell them because it's the most miserable job in the world.
Yeah.
So you got into selling vacuums because I needed a job. Okay, and were you guys in Bozeman?
We were in Bozeman, yeah. So this is all still in Bozeman. And I'm living at my in-laws' house during this because I have no job. My wife just graduated massage school, so she's working part-time, doing massage at this spa in Bozeman. I'm sitting every day on my butt at my in-laws' house playing video games, waiting for a job interview, and I'm applying every single day. And the Kirby thing came up, and I was like, okay, cool, I got this. And then I did that for 2 weeks. I was like, I am not doing this. I have had enough door slam in my face.
Yeah.
Dude, door slam in your face. People spit on you. They pull guns on you. They do not like door-to-door salesmen.
No.
They do not like it. So then I saw this ad for a food service director at Montfort School. It's a K-8 school in Four Corners in Bozeman. And I was like, shit, I'll go for it. I always wanted to work with kids. When I wanted to be a doctor, I wanted to be a pediatrician. Mm-hmm. And so I did this and I went and applied for it. And I was like, there's no way I'm getting hired. There's no way. And lo and behold, I was there 3 days later, started work.
Wow.
And I took a food service program that was doing about 60% participation to 93% participation in the span of 6 months.
Dang. Oh, wow.
We had to take reservations with parents because we were cooking from scratch food for kids. Pizza day was the busiest day. We would serve 95% of the school or 98% of the school body, kids, plus 100% of the staff, plus parents. Every year at Christmas, we did a prime rib dinner for the families. And so it was like a full blown, we ran it like a restaurant and it was a profit. It was really cool. So then I get calls from everywhere. How'd you do this? How'd you do this? We started a farm to school program with some of the local farms over there. And
that's really cool.
But while I was doing it, I was like, I'm not fulfilled, right? Like, okay, cool. I'm cooking. I'm a lunch lady, right? Like, and it was fun. Like, I'm this tattooed punk rock dude rocking out to Metallica and Slayer in the kitchen while kids are coming through the lunch line. I'm scooping them food on there. And, I got my band t-shirt on and like, whatever,
You were their coolest,
And I still talk to a lot of those kids now. And that was, 2011 or 2010 to early 2013.
Oh, wow.
I think it was when I left, or late 2012. I don't remember. It was late 2012 was when I left. And it was one of the coolest things ever. I loved it.
They probably all loved you.
Yeah. And one of the kids I just talked to the other day, his name is Jackson Marcotte. Jackson just graduated Special Forces in the Army.
Wow.
Him and his wife are like East now. I still talk to them. It's really crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's so nice when you're like, I actually impacted someone's life.
Well, I didn't even know you did. That's what's scary is I didn't know I had impact. And he came to me. He was like, hey, and his dad passed away a couple of years ago. He's like, I want you to know, like, other than my dad, you're like the one man in my life that I knew I could always turn to. And I'm like, dude, I was a lunch lady. He's like, yeah, but you're always there.
Aww,
and you always have been.
Really
I was
special.
like, well, because you're a cool dude. I'll hang out with you, you know. I'll, show you how to chop an onion. Like, I don't care.
I'll show you how to chop an onion.
But it was one of those things. Like, after you graduated high school, he always kept in touch. And I was like, this is just a cool kid. Like, so you don't realize the impact you have on people years later. And
especially in school. I mean, like, that's like a very informative, like, time of life, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he's a 13, 14-year-old kid. He's an 8th grade kid. And you're like, you just see this kid who just wants to learn and never did anything with food. He was so smart. And he was so lazy.
I feel like that's always how it is. It's like sometimes those smartest ones that could be valedictorian, they just like are like, I'm kind of bored.
Yeah, and they become a stoner usually too.
I'm bored in school because it's so easy, and then different paths. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I did that, but I wasn't fulfilled. Right, I was like, I need something more, and they did something for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. It was a different fundraiser where you get arrested and you nominate somebody to be arrested, and then they take you to jail, and basically the fire department comes over and they do a fundraiser to get you out of jail.
That's fun.
It was fun. But I did that. And I was like, well, how do you get into firefighting? They're like, oh, we all volunteer. And I was like, well, how do you volunteer? Oh, you just do this or this or this. Where do you live? I live over there. Okay, well, you need to go talk to this person. So I set up an interview with the Central Valley Fire and this guy, Brian Crandall. And Brian is your typical fire chief, 6'3", 250-pound giant behemoth, so smart, just unbelievable guy, character guy. He didn't care what you looked like. He cared what you could do. What was the work? And he found out I was a cook, and he was like, oh, well, we do lunch every Friday. Why don't you just come see a Friday? Mm-hmm. And I got there on a Friday. I cooked lunch for everybody in the station that was there. It was like 15 or 16 people. And eventually these started turning into like 30 people would show up for lunch. Again, people made reservations for, Chef Nick to come cook. So I get in there, I start volunteering, and then I end up getting as like a part-time paid guy in the summer times. And then I leave the school and I start doing concrete work on the side and trying to pursue this firefighter career. And then I almost died in a house fire.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, hell no, I'm not dying. My son was just born like 6 months earlier.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, I need to go pursue something
less dangerous.
Well, not less dangerous. I need to go pursue what I was missing something. The passion wasn't there. I still miss it. Don't be wrong. The big red truck drives by and I go, I turn into a 4-year-old kid. I'm like, I want to ride the fire truck. And
there it goes.
I'm sure if you cook them a meal, they let you, well, they wouldn't let you drive it, but they'd drive you around.
They'd let me drive it.
I was like, they would probably let you drive it.
There's a couple departments that would still let me drive it. I won't say which ones, but I have friends still. They'd let me drive. They wouldn't care. So I did that, and I was like, I need something more. Like, I want to go back into cooking. And my wife's like, okay, if you're going to do it, there's no going back. You're either going to go all in. I said, I know. Do you know what that means? She says, I know exactly what it means to you. I've been working 50 hours a week. I was part-time basically in my world. I was working 40 hours a week at the school, and then I'd pick up another 20, 30 hours a week at the station. And then I would work 30 to 40 hours a week at the station and pick up 20 to 30 to 40 hours a week in precast concrete.
Yeah.
So I was just working all the time, but like it wasn't one gig. So I was always kind of busy, but I wasn't busy. Mm-hmm. She said, if you want to go back to cooking, this means every day, no days off, you have to be obsessed again. I was like, I know, I really miss it. And I interviewed for a job at the Mint in Belgrade. They just changed ownership. Didn't know that. Ended up being a great thing. I was working 100 hours a week. I almost burned down my own house cooking.
Your own house in off hours. Okay.
Yeah. So the firefighter chef almost burns in his house cooking is pretty ironic.
Yeah.
No flames were there, but I smoked out my house. So I ended up living in a hotel for 40 days. In the middle of that, the restaurant closes. So I have no job. I live in a hotel. No prospects. I ended up getting
a newborn with an infant, right?
Yeah, he was 9 months old at the time.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a little guy. He was 18 months old. So he was just over a year old.
So he was moving and grooving. So a hotel room was kind of tough.
He was sleeping in pack and play in the corner of the room with the curtains pulled over it. Because we only had one bed in the room and didn't have a crib. They didn't exactly just set you with the crib.
Yeah.
We have no clothes because everything is smoked out. So we had to go buy new clothes. We had no kitchen. So we're eating every day at, Dairy Queen and Wendy's because it's all we could get with our, daily per diem, which was like $40 a day to feed a family of three meals a day. Like, this is going to work. So I get an interview. Again, I say the word interview. It was more like a conversation up in Big Sky at Lone Mountain Ranch. And that's kind of really where everything took off. And the joke was I interviewed with this guy, George, and I showed up, shirt, tie. I'm going to get this gig as a sous chef. I'm going to get the job. And George is like in a pair of Crocs, chef pants, a white t-shirt that's covered in like grease stains because he's been working all day. And he's like, I have had no help for months. And I was like, well, hey, let me tell you a little bit about me. Boom, boom, boom. And we talked for like an hour. And I said, okay, well, do you want me to start Monday? And he's like, yeah. We never had an actual interview. We just talked food.
We just talked.
Start date.
He got in so much trouble because I didn't have to go through HR. I didn't go through the GM. I just got hired by him, started on Monday, did paperwork, and they're like, wait, what?
Right. He's like, I need it. Just let me have it.
Well, and I
need the help.
He's like, you told me you had a job. I didn't even get approval. You just showed up and started working. It's like, yeah, dude, I had no choice. I had a wife and a kid at home to take care of. I had no choice. I bullied my way into a job. And George left a month and a half later to go to France with his now ex-girlfriend, but girlfriend at the time. And I got hired as a chef there by the new ownership that was coming in. So it was like the timing was incredible. Like old ownership was leaving, new ownership was coming in. Old sous chef and chef had left. New chef is coming in. New owners love new chef. So it took off.
Was that the first time you had like full creativity on a menu?
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the first time that I was like, I can do anything I want, however I want to do it, whenever I want to do it. There was no rules. I was working at a guest ranch, so their expectations are fried chicken, meatloaf, things I said I'd never served that are now two of my biggest sellers.
Yeah.
But I wanted to change people's thought of what Montana food could be.
Yeah.
And so it was trout from a local farm that was doing this really cool, sustainable farming program with that. We did all local beef and pig and chicken. And I was flying an octopus from Spain and tuna from Japan. And I spent all the money. I cared nothing about what it cost. I just wanted to make the coolest food.
Yeah.
And then,
which seems to kind of fit to like what Lone Mountain Ranch, like they want their guests to have a very nice high-end experience.
Yeah.
But their guests, they've shifted their guest. Their guest then wanted kitschy guest ranch. Where's my ranch dressing with my green salad and cucumbers?
Yeah.
To where now it's like foie gras and, Spanish octopus again. Like they're doing real food the really cool way again. And it's really fun to be a part of that journey. Now the owners will still call me and we keep in touch. And it's been a really fun experience. But I left there in 2016, moved here, took over the chef job at the Northern Hotel.
How did that come to be?
That's where I first met you, is when you were chef at the 10.
Yep. I was sick and tired of working at a guest ranch. They had a consultant come in who said I should put on a cowboy hat and a denim chef coat. And I told him, no, we're not doing that.
One, that would be so hot. It's already so hot in the kitchen.
I have an eyeball tattooed on the back of my hand. There's no camera in here, so you can't see it. But there's a big yellow eyeball tattooed on the back of my hand with a purple flower. Putting me in a cowboy hat and a denim chef coat will make me look like the biggest poser of all time.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it'd just be Post Malone.
That's like trendy.
Yeah. I was Post Malone before Post Malone was cool. It was like, dang. I said
you could have. Yeah, you did.
A trend. So I sent my resume 3 times to the Northern. 3 times. And I got no callbacks, anything, because of whatever reason. I didn't have something they were looking for. This is when the chef, Tim Freeman, had just left and he was a celebrity chef. He just won, beat Bobby Flay or something.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Nobody cares. Bobby Flay's a hack. Like, I can beat Bobby Flay in my sleep kind of thing, right? So he was this big wig and they wanted somebody with a big personality to come in and take it over, but was bigger than me. I was like, no, fine. You'd be hard pressed to find a bigger personality than me in a kitchen, but okay. So I bullied my way. I took my connections that I had in Billings and I said, I need you to talk to this guy and get me an interview. And 2 hours later, I get a call from their HR department. Hey, let's get an interview set up. It was a Valentine's Day weekend. I said I can be there on Sunday. I interviewed on a Sunday, job offer on Monday.
Wow. Oh, and that's
I moved
awesome.
a month later down here, lived in the hotel for a month till my wife and son could move down, and did that job I was the chef of the hotel, so I ran Bernie's 10, and I was in charge of banquets as well. I worked every day, every holiday. I'd get calls at 2 a.m. for room service because I screwed up and they didn't have turkey sandwiches ready to go. And I'm like, why are you bothering me with this?
Somebody
it's a turkey sandwich.
Yeah. And as I was going through this, there was a F&B director that was our food and beverage director that was working there. And I don't want to slander her by any means, but she was so over her head in this job. She had no idea what she was doing. And I wanted to go make menu changes because it was that time. I was like, hey, let's make some menu changes. She's like, well, you can't do that. And I was like, what do you mean I can't do that? It's my kitchen. She's like, well, you need to get approved. I said, I don't have to get anything approved. I don't think you know who I am here. And she's like, well, that's not how it's going to work here anymore. I said, I don't think you understand how this is going to work here. I said, this kitchen is mine. Your office isn't in the kitchen. Stay out of my kitchen. She was like, well, the whole department belongs to me. And I'm like, yeah, well, good luck running a department without a chef.
Yeah.
Push me around and we'll see how it goes because I will fight back. I don't bark. I'm going to bite back. And she just kept pushing and pushing. And before you know it, I was like, okay, it's New Year's Eve. And I've been there since 7 a.m. She rolls in at 4:45 right before service starts and doesn't like how something is set up. And she's like, well, why was it done this way? And I said, look here. And I just went off. I had that chef moment.
Yeah.
I blew up. And I'm like literally just standing with a saute pan in my hand and I'm screaming at her in like the most intense voice. I'm like, you could have been here for hours. You didn't like the way it's set up. Then you should have fucking been here and done something about it. It's not my fault. You don't show up and you're not accountable. And I said, stay out of my kitchen. You walk in here again, I'm going to start chucking things at you. Get out. She's like, you can't do it. I said, shut up and get out. Next thing you know, she's gone. She tries to come back in at like 11 o'clock at night. And I said, get out. And I started throwing things at her.
You're like, I wasn't kidding.
Yeah. And then she tried the same thing again at Valentine's Day. And I was like, done, dude. I'm done. So I'd found out at that time that the chef of Walker's, Marlo, was leaving. I was like, well, that's kind of my dream. And
very same commute.
Yeah, exact same commute. Actually, it's better. I didn't have to park in the parking garage. I got a parking space right in the parking lot. So for those who don't know, they literally I had to walk about 20 feet with my stuff to put it in my new office. That's how close the buildings are. And I talked with Bill Honecker, who owned the restaurant at the time, and it had been his, and it was named after his dad. There's a lot of history behind Walker's, and
it's had different locations too, right?
Walker's? No, it's only,
yes,
wasn't it used to be the old Chamber of Commerce building.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
But it's downstairs. Been at this one since 2004 or 5. I can't remember. I think we're just at 20 or 21 years in the location. Mm-hmm. And
what was dream? So you're like, that was my dream. What about Walker's for you was like, that's it?
When I approached Bill, he's like, I want to retire, so I want someone to buy the restaurant. I was like, you want what? He's like, yeah.
Oh, so you went in knowing you're like, okay,
timing.
This is going to be it for me.
I went in knowing that I wanted a different job.
Yeah.
And when he and I met, he's like, well, I'm going to give you the full scope. Marlo's leaving. I want to retire. I want someone to buy the restaurant. And I've known you. I'd known Bill now for about 5 or 6 years. And he'd done some research on me too through some mutual friends. Again, Chuck. And he and Chuck have been good friends for 20 years. And he's like, so I called Chuck, and Chuck says, you're the guy and you can do it. So let's talk. And that was in February. I started there in May of 17. And then we remodeled the whole restaurant in October of 17 and haven't looked back since. And
when did you officially take over ownership?
I officially partnered with him in 19.
Okay.
2019, he and I partnered where I got a percentage of it. And then I bought him out last year, or I guess 2023. So almost a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2023, I bought him out with new partners and coolest thing.
I remember the remodel. I remember when that was happening because I was in the graduate from college that year, and
I made a lot of people mad with that one too. There's a lot of people that don't like me.
I think it's just change, and then once you get used to it, you're like, yeah of course this is.
You take off somebody's favorite dish, and I mean, it's like you slap their mom in the face. If you take off their favorite dish, you would think it's the same sort of category of problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like it's not.
I got rid of this thing. It's okay. There will be something new.
Mm-hmm. But if you guys keep staple, like
I've got 3 things,
Korean
3 or 4 things that don't change.
What's the pasta? The Bourbon Street,
yep.
and then the apple crisp that I like dream of. And I like every weekend, I'm like, Austin, would you go get my husband? I'm like, would you go get Walker's Takeout? And he's like, no, Marcel. So I have to physically go, but he won't. He did it for my birthday once.
You can come by after work and take it home.
I know. I've
done that. We got the potato soup,
which is like to die for, good. By the way.
We had to do an event late here one night, and I just walked over before it started and got it to go, and then came back, and we were just sitting here eating it, waiting for people to show up.
Don't come back for that. It's gone.
Well, it's gone
but
now.
The thing is, like,
it could come back.
I like it because every time I go, there's new things on the menu.
There's always
one thing I always love is that you guys have the gluten-free menus, and so it's very clear about what I can eat, and then that you have. Like, I don't have to miss out on the bread because you bring me out gluten-free
and that bread's really good.
It's so good.
Yeah. Or the cocktails. So good.
What were some of the biggest challenges from being just the kitchen to now owning and running the business?
You know, I've been asked that a few times, and it's hard because I've always had somebody I could talk to. The biggest change was I didn't have somebody else in charge, right? Mm-hmm. But I've always acted as if I was an owner. I mean, from the Mint until now, so you go back to 2013 when I went to the Mint to where I am now 12 years later, I acted as the owner because if you're going to put your name on it, you have to take ownership of what's going out the door, which means every aspect of the experience has to be started from the moment the phone is answered to the moment they walk out the door. Every single part of the experience is important. And I think the biggest shift for me now is that I'm less focused on the food and more focused on the development of the people. I joke that I'm trying to find the next Nick Steen. And
I love it.
And I'm trying to find the next person who wants to be the guy that does the thing.
Yeah.
And
who shares the same passion.
Yeah. And trying to light fires inside of people to love what they do and really trying to focus on the hospitality of the industry as opposed to just the nuts and bolts and there's so many parts of this business. There's so many parts of it. But the most important thing every single day are the people that walk in the door that work with you. And it's important that, like, no one works for me. They work with me every single day. Yes, we have a staff of 55 people, but we are a team. And there's, obviously everything shit rolls uphill. So if it goes wrong, it's my fault. But at the end of the day, like, it's an entire team that does this job. Mm-hmm. It is all about every single person. And it's not just one individual. It is a team thing. And maybe it's my sports background where it's about the we, not the me kind of thing.
No, but I think that's a really good trait of a leader. And I think that we hear it, and we're not just saying it because we have you on and you're our favorite restaurant, but the staff and the service at Walker's is amazing. Like, everyone says, like, it's like some of the best service you're going to receive in Montana and in Billings. So can you talk about the hospitality piece and what you guys do at Walker's that differentiates that service that you receive when you're there?
Well, I will go as far as to say I think the service we provide and the hospitality we provide will beat anybody anywhere. I just got back from a 2 Michelin star restaurant in New York, and I'm telling you what we do is right there with them. It's hiring the right people. It's nothing. It is the people. It's nothing we do special. We have steps of service and expectations that, yes, this will happen this way, but service is the expectation. It's the black and white. Hospitality is the color in the middle. And
I really like that, yeah.
I stole the quote from this guy, Will Gadara. He's the hospitality
guru.
The
Unreasonable Hospitality book?
Yeah, I think I've started a trend with that book.
It's good.
I got to go to his conference this last year, and I got to meet Will. He's an unbelievable guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him to come out and speak.
Oh my gosh, I would be envious of that.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get him to come speak at some stuff out here, so we'll see.
Okay, let us know. We'll share it out.
That would be like, that book is so good.
That book is a staple in our restaurant. But the thing that's funny is I got invited out to the conference by a friend of mine, Brian, and he comes into Walker's. I didn't know him at all. And he's like, I want you to come to this conference. It's like, oh, cool. My name's Nick. Nice to meet you. He's like, I want you to come to this because you're the only place in town that does this. You understand it. I didn't know the book. It's just how I operate. You read between the lines on people and you deliver something extra. If I hear that somebody really liked the sauce on this thing, hey, grab me a little extra. Make sure it goes in there. Make sure you treat somebody with a little bit of extra special. Put a little bit of color on top of it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of places that do the black and white very well. And they're very proper, they're very prim, and everything is perfect, and the silverware is lined up and polished perfectly, and they're all set with a laser level, so everything's going the exact same way, and every tablecloth is ironed and pressed, and every linen is ironed and pressed, and every server is perfectly put together in their vest and their tie, and they look like they, just walked out of a movie set because they're all so perfectly manicured. And that's great, but that doesn't deliver a good experience. That says we can make people look nice, but we can't make you feel nice. And there are not a lot of places that make you feel nice. You know, my favorite place to go is Tiny's.
I love Tiny's.
Oh, love Orange
Tiny's,
Crush.
and they make you feel like you're part of it.
Yes, even when you don't want the shot of Fireball or the Dr. McGillicuddy's or whatever, it's there anyways.
And that's the thing, that's how they make you feel. It doesn't have to be fine dining to make you feel good. I think my biggest goal has been taking out the pomp and circumstance of fine dining and trying to just make people feel good. So, I mean, the service of it is part of it, but it's the people you hire that make that happen. I can't make, you know, I'll use Lacey as an example. She's one of my favorite people that works there. She's a school teacher by day and works at night because she just loves to work with people. She wants to make people smile. It is part of her nature to be fulfilled is to take care of people. And she comes in there and I don't have to tell her to do anything. She just makes people smile. It's just who she is as a person. So we hire those kind of people. You look for that. And when we hire, it's not me hiring them. It's our team. We bring you in, you interview with 3 or 4 of our team, whether it's a back waiter host or the owner. Like we're all involved because at the end of the day, you have to fit in with this and you have to understand like it's about the people. And as you build that culture and you foster that culture, then everybody else buys into it. And then it becomes like a one-upping each other. Like, well, look what I did. Look what I did. And it's almost to a point where it's like, hey, we're not competing to make people happy. Okay. We're out here to make people happy. You know, we had this gal who come in, it's about a year ago, maybe 9 months ago. I don't know. It was sometime last in 2024. And she was with a friend of mine and, my friend showed up after this gal was there, but she just told us she was coming in to celebrate. She just rang the bell and beat breast cancer. And she was in there and she was like, we wanted to do something. I was like, I looked at him and I said, I don't care what it is, what it costs. Put a bottle of champagne on the table right now. If they don't drink it, I don't care. I want them to know that we are celebrating her.
Yeah, we're celebrating with her.
And we brought it over
special.
with a card that says, we are celebrating you and your success and way to go, and a big middle finger drawn on it with cancer underneath it. And it was really cool. And there's part of that. I had a friend that passed away from cancer and her name's on the menu now and it's a whole thing. But she came here to celebrate that, not knowing we would do anything.
That moment, yeah.
And that thing right there, that bottle of bubbles, she wrote me a thank you card and she'll never forget that day of her life. And I didn't do it for the thank you card. We didn't do it we did it selfishly so we feel good about it. And so we can celebrate her because that's her biggest moment of her life right there.
And she chose to spend it at your place.
Yeah. And there's no greater, I mean, what a gift.
Yeah.
And a core
what
memory.
An incredible gift. And so where we separate ourselves from everybody else is we feel thrilled that somebody would celebrate that with us. Like I don't take that lightly. That's a big deal to me, whether it's a graduation, beating cancer, whatever it might be. It's a Tuesday night and you chose to be with us. That makes us feel good. We are fulfilled by those moments. Every one of them. If you just came down because you wanted to have apple crisp, well, you know how good that makes me feel? That apple crisp is my heart.
I love that apple crisp.
That's my wife's grandma. We drive 18 hours.
I would kill for that apple crisp. Yeah,
I would drive 18 hours for that, and I have. And I pull up in the driveway, and there's a 9x13 cake pan sitting in the kitchen for me, and a 9x13 cake pan for everybody else.
Wow.
That's
and
why
the
it's on
ice
the
cream
menu.
and the caramel, it's just all this like so good.
And it's the perfect thing, but it's the way that it makes you feel when you eat it, and then the way it makes you feel when somebody else enjoys it. It's the greatest gift.
Oh, I love that.
That's really special.
That's the special piece about Walkers.
Yeah.
And it's that color, like you were saying before.
It is.
And the people, and I think clearly your team also knows, like the culture, like it's just innate. And if you guys are interviewing new people, like you all know what you're looking for in someone and what you're not.
Yeah, it is. It's very true. And we don't hit, I think we get a 90% success. We have a few that don't make it. And we try, we try really hard to help people understand that and foster that. And, we all have our off days too, man. When I'm having a bad day, I don't have any sort of, black and white doesn't exist. I just want to throw things. I'm like, I'm just grumpy. Leave me alone. Somebody grab me a Snickers. I'm hangry, whatever it is.
Give me an apple crisp.
I'm having a rough day.
Yeah.
Stay away from me.
Yeah.
But then I go out in the dining room and I see people that chose to be there. And it's like, why am I having a bad day?
Yeah.
I haven't had a bad day at work in forever.
That's how you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And that goes back to why I left what I was, I did the firefighting thing and the concrete thing because that's what you're supposed to do as a man. You go do these jobs because that's what men do, right? And there's this stigma that you have to do this kind of thing. And I wasn't fulfilled, man. I'm overwhelmed every day with joy and with love and passion. And I get to share that with my wife, and my son gets to see it. And he gets to grow up around falling in love with something and understanding that you can do something you love to do. Don't let anybody ever tell you can't.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who tell your whole life you can't do it and you'll never amount to anything. And it's whether or not you decide to accept that as the reality or you choose to get through it. And every day, that's something he gets to see. It's really cool.
You could have been thrown off by Marv, but you didn't. You kept going because you
took that Harley and
yeah,
rode out of there. So tell us a little bit because I'm curious, but what's like a day-to-day like for walkers? Like, what does that look like from morning to night? How you guys work?
So our first person shows up usually every morning around 6:30 in the morning. He starts by all the sauces, stocks, things like that. He's making all the big batches of things. And so he's going to start early before anyone else gets in there. Pastry chef rolls in around 8:15. Again, goes back to, we want to write the right place. Usually your pastry chef's there for you. And well, he's got 2 kids at home and a wife that works at a school. So he works Monday through Friday and gets to take his kids to school every day and pick them up every day. And
which is game changing for him, I'm sure.
Greatest gift in the world to this guy is he gets to work Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And be every day with his kids. And that is the coolest thing ever. So those guys are in there. Which
is unheard of for kitchen. Yeah.
Yeah. And shout out to my buddy Seth, because he was the chef at Giuliano's with Carl for 20 years.
Wow.
So when Giuliano's closed, I was like, Seth is a culture guy. And so he comes in every day and he works with Nancy, who's our cleaner. And Nancy comes in every day, cleans the whole restaurant, makes it pretty for everybody. And it's the things that people don't even realize are happening. And Nancy is the heart and soul. And Seth's job every day is to make her smile. And you show up and he's got a cake donut for you. He's got a piece of bread for you. He's made a smoked salmon bao bun for you. And he's just like, we're all getting fat because Seth won't stop making us food.
That's his love language.
It is his love language, but he shares that with everybody. And so Nancy comes in, and then Mariana, our office manager, she'll walk in, and Mariana we call her the principal, because everything runs through her, and she is the stopgap. She is my biggest soundboard for everything that's not my wife. Her and her husband are 2 of the most incredible people in the world. Her son, Ryland, works at the restaurant, bussing tables. You know, it's truly a family in that regard. And I hate when people say, this place is like family. No, the family literally is in here. Like, it's truly the case. And she rolls in and she takes care of the reservations and bookkeeping and all those other little things. And then our cooks start showing up between noon and 2, and then servers start showing up between 3 and 5, and bartenders show up at 2:30 or 3. And then service starts, and it's just, all out gung-ho, crazy go. Dishwashers roll in and keep the place running every single day. And then, we lock up the door usually around midnight and go home and start all over morning at 6:30 the next morning.
Wait, so how does your staff, they are always so articulate on like telling you about the specials? Like are they tasting it? Are they just like seeing it? Like, what does that look like?
All of it. So if we make a special, we think through what it's going to be, how's it going to look, taste, smell, textural, every component has to be there. We make it, we taste it. Okay, cool. This is a winner. We put it up on the board. We do what's called a pre-meal every day. We come in, we say, hey, here are the specials. They're in the back. Come taste them, see them, ask questions. We describe every single thing because there's a lot of weird lingo, and we push ourselves to be more than just ordinary. So you hear a lot of new terms and new ingredients. I mean, nobody in Billings has ever seen a fiddlehead fern until we showed up with fiddlehead ferns, and they're these cool little, they're a fern. They're like a little green, and they turn and they're like little curly Q things, and you saute them with butter and lemon juice, on the most delicious thing in the world. They're like curly Q asparagus on steroids.
I need to have one of these. I haven't had one before.
They grow for about a month, and that's it.
Really short season.
So April, May, you start seeing them pop up. But so we'll do fiddleheads. Well, you get to describe what it is, and then they have to be all articulate to the table. So they work together with each other. Go, hey, I'm going to run my specials by you, and you'll see them in the back. Just, hey, tonight we're serving this and this and this, and they're reading it and they're searching it, and it's the one time I'm okay with them on their phones. It's like, hey, go figure it out. Well, describe a fiddlehead fern. I can describe it. It's delicious. Eat it. I'm not going to describe it.
Yeah.
Why don't you get on Google and tell me what does Chat GPT tell you about it? Okay.
What does the AI have to say?
AI will tell you everything about a fiddlehead fern.
And they'll help you describe it.
I know everybody that's listening to this will be inundated with fiddlehead ferns in about a month because
they will. It's on their phone.
Everybody heard it. So I'm waiting for the ad to show up right now.
Oh no, we're going to start getting it on Instagram.
Speaking of, you switch out your menu seasonally to to match kind of what's fresh and what's there during that moment in time. But you're huge on local suppliers. Why is that so important to you?
Supporting each other. It's the people walking your door every day. That's who you support.
Yeah.
The local farms and ranches are the biggest thing that, they need our help. I've got a kid on my hockey team who's a 4-H kid, and we bought 40 pounds of honey from him this year.
Oh,
wow.
And local honey is so good.
It's the best honey
delicious.
I've ever had. And
we get some from my uncle. They have bees on, not them, but they have people that have like their little, whatever it's called, on their ranch. And so by that, they get free honey from these. So then I get free honey, and I couldn't be more because I'm getting like jugs of it.
Yeah.
And then
free.
I
And
sometimes get free honey from Marcel getting free honey.
Because I'm like, this would be expensive if we bought this in the store, but I'm thrilled to have it for free.
So we get to do that, and those kids get to see how fun that is. Like, same family. I'm going to buy a goat.
Yeah.
We're going to cook goat next month.
Oh, nice. I've never had goat.
Oh, it's delicious. Oh, it's so good.
Okay.
Everybody's freaked out. Goat. Oh my God.
I would eat it.
No, it's delicious, man.
I wouldn't be free. I mean, I like lamb, and I would be similar. Like, I would assume they'd be kind of similar.
It's like lamb and pork had a baby.
Oh,
So, like, really
so they'd be
tender.
really good.
Yeah,
Because you guys have Hollenbeck
Okay.
lamb.
we do. So we use Sarah Hollenbeck's ranch.
We've had
for
her on the
that.
episode. We've had her on the podcast.
Sarah's so cool.
She's so fun.
She's so cool.
She's so rad.
I love her Instagram. She cracks me up.
She does crack me up.
I
She-
follow her religiously.
She
So good.
makes me realize how much I am not a social media person because I can't tell you a part about my day. I will scroll for hours on memes and reels
yeah, me
and
too.
laugh. You want me
Me
to
too.
create something? I'm like, no.
A cat video gets me every time on Instagram.
I get
but
lots of weird things.
animal videos. Really,
Mine's
get
usually
me.
like kids getting hit with like soccer balls. And it's like kids getting hurt is probably my biggest
which
follow
is
because
so
it's just
funny.
hysterical to me.
Well, what's next for Nick Steen and Walker's Grill?
I don't know, man. Just keep riding the course. Just keep doing what we're doing. I think the biggest goal right now is to, we'll see if we win a James Beard Award. Okay, let's be fair. I didn't think I was ever going to get a nomination in the first place, let alone 3 of them, but I do not think we're going to win one. So,
You never know.
we got
You
my
have to
fingers
be
crossed.
optimistic. You have to put it out there
You
in
have
the
to
world.
manifest
I
it
will
in reality.
win.
Manifest it.
I am the most pessimistic person when it comes to my success. I'm like, I put out in the world that this would never happen, and then it showed up 2 days later, and I'm like,
We
are
know
you
it will happen
serious?
for you.
So I'm like reverse, jinxing
So
myself.
deserved.
Marcel and I will manifest it for
Yeah,
you.
it's gonna happen.
We'll put it out there.
I think
And then
the
we're gonna come have apple crisp to celebrate you.
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have the cheesecake 'cause that one's gluten free.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll eat the apple crisp to myself.
Perfect.
Happily.
And there's always a martini that's gluten free too. you know?
Perfect. I'll have both.
Yeah. But I think for Walker's next is just keep doing what we're doing. Keep developing cool people and keep having cool experiences. We're going to start some dinner series where, 5-6 courses with tequila instead of just wine, or
Fun.
Oh, hell
bourbon,
yeah.
a bourbon
I
dinner
love
where
that.
we walk through different levels of bourbon and the cocktails that go with it and courses paired to it. So we're going to start having some fun with things like that. Plus, wine dinners, and we're going to start pushing it a little bit more, where I've been kind of in coast mode, just trying to stabilize for the last year, because we don't know what it's, the world's crazy right now.
It is
Yeah.
crazy.
We got even busier last year. So it's like, okay, what else can we do?
Yeah.
And so right now it's about just continued growth and how do we get that next step and what's the next thing? And how do we set trends instead of follow trends? And that's what we want to do. So
Which I think you guys are doing that so well in Billings. And I think that, having those dinners, that excites us. I think it's because it gets to educate your community too on things that are in the food scene that maybe we wouldn't know about otherwise.
Well, and that just goes along with there's always something going on and something to do. So just get out and go do a dinner at Walker's and enjoy a different pairing of different things.
yeah.
So
And I think, if I take anything away from this for everybody is like, get out and support everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, if you walk into Walker's, I love it. It's not for everybody. I also know it's not for everybody. Like if you like a grilled piece of meat with a baked potato and sour cream, this is not your restaurant. But if you want ranch dressing, I'm sorry, it's not your restaurant. But if you want something that's like curated that you can never make at home, this is the place for you.
Yeah.
Also it makes you feel comfortable and safe and makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside because of how people walk you through the experience. it's the perfect place. And whether you can spend $15 and you can spend $500. It doesn't matter. You're going to have a cool experience. It doesn't matter.
And the deviled eggs are phenomenal.
And you're going to have an
so
amazing meal. Even the burger, I had that with a friend, I don't know, a couple months ago. We went there for a later dinner, and oh my God.
It's the best
burger
in town.
so good.
I ate all of it.
It's so much
all of
food.
it. I know, but I ate it. I didn't eat all my fries, I don't think, though I did try, but I ate the whole burger, all of it, bun and all. So good. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like I can't, I ate all of it. Yeah, it was really good.
It's so good. I'm going to
Like
eat a burger
I'm
today.
like, wow.
Yeah, and now I need to go eat.
It's so, I don't think you could have the bun.
I can't eat the bun. Probably not.
Oh my God.
But maybe I'd smush it between my naan.
You could do that.
Yeah.
It's still good. I mean, the best part of the burger is the beef and the sauce. Like,
The sauce is really good.
I'm kind of a sauce, like, I don't know. Sauce is the best part of everything. Like, I don't care. I eat meat as a vessel to carry really good sauce.
That's really good.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Well, Nick, it's been so fun to hear your story. We love to end each episode with a few rapid fire questions. So we're going to hear a quick message from a sponsor and then jump into those rapid fire questions.
Billings is for outsiders. As the days grow longer, our spirit of adventure grows too. Whether you're here for a sporting event or a family getaway, Billings has the springtime fun for you. Join us for the Montana's Women's Run, a celebration of fitness and community, cheer on the incredible athletes at the Special Olympics, or experience the thrill of the PBR at Metro Park. There's always something exciting happening here in Billings. Enjoy a show at the Alberta Bear Theatre or catch a movie at the historic Babcock Theatre after dining at one of our award-winning restaurants. It's the perfect time for exploring Zoo Montana or taking a stroll on one of our beautiful trails. And don't miss out on our brew trail during Craft Beer Week, featuring exclusive events and deals all week long, culminating in the last best beer run where you can taste the finest craft beers our city has to offer. It's a great time to be an outsider in Billings, so come visit us today. You can learn more at visitbillings.com. Okay, well, welcome back. We are jumping into our rapid fire questions. My first one for you is, what is your go-to daily ritual or habit for health?
Cold plunge.
Ooh,
Oh.
how long do you do?
Yeah, what's your time?
I get bored after about 8 minutes.
Oh my God.
minutes?
Wow. I
Holy
feel like
buckets.
people do 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, I'm have you figured out yet? I kind of do things a little bit further than
Extreme.
Yeah.
Do you have one at your house or do
Yeah.
you okay?
I've got one at home.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Is it one that just like my boyfriend has one, and so but his is just like you fill it with water and ice and you sit in it.
Yep.
That's just
It's
Do you
basically
just leave it outside? And so like now it's like
It's in the garage. So I've got my garage is basically a gym and a hockey training facility because heaven forbid we park our cars in there.
why
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah.
Why have to shovel? Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. So my kids got
Brush
his whole
ice
like
off.
hockey training facility on one half and
and you have your gym and cold plunge on the other.
yep.
So like a wellness family. I really love that. Wow. That's inspiring. 8 minutes of cold plunge. Okay. I don't think I couldn't do that.
I just try
No.
to go until I can't go anymore. And eventually I'm like, well, I'm just bored now. I'm getting out.
I've made it to my knees and then had to get out.
Now, mind you, that's not like, okay, first of all, just commit, just go. And it's the first 20 seconds
It
is like hyperventilating. And once you can get past that and just realize it's just shock, you're fine.
Okay.
Now, I'm at 8 minutes at like 45 degrees, not 35 degrees.
Still.
And there's a big difference, okay?
Okay.
There's a big difference in that 10 degrees, like hypothermia difference, okay? I'm
But I
not
feel like-
stupid.
But like longevity, I feel like it's good for longevity, right? And mental health.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
just
Really, it's good for
yeah.
inflammation on your joints and
Oh, yeah.
everything.
and
Yeah.
just getting you ready for the day.
Yeah, and I play hockey. You know, I coach my son's team, and then I play a couple days a week as
Wow.
well. So like, I'm always sore, and then I
Yeah.
work on my feet all day, so I'm like always in pain. So cold plunge
Yeah.
is the way to go.
Wow.
Nice.
That makes me want to ask a fun. I'm going to have 4 rapid because
Okay,
I have
that's
another
totally
question.
fine.
Okay. What's some of the best advice you've ever received?
Never fall in love with an investment. Doesn't matter what it is. Don't fall in love with it. Whether it's a house, a car, or a business, don't fall in love with it.
Okay. That's good.
All right. My next one is, what is your favorite cuisine?
I don't even know if I could pick one.
I know. It's hard. I don't know why I do that question
And it's
because
a
I
hard one
too
as a
couldn't.
chef. Like, I don't know.
Okay, what's your favorite meal? Can you do that? That's also a hard question.
Yeah, I always pick my my death row meal:
Oh yeah, what's your death
What
row
is
meal?
it?
Oh, I
Let's
love
go.
that.
tuna casserole and a PBR.
Oh,
Tuna
I love
casserole and a
that.
PBR.
That's a
Oh,
very
wow.
like That's good.
Yeah, I'm all about the lowbrow of my life. Like, man, I can make all the fanciest, most hoity-toity foo-foo stuff ever, and it's delicious, don't get me wrong. But like tuna casserole, cream mushroom soup, Velveeta cheese, it has to be a Velveeta cheese. And then
there's no replacement for fake cheese.
No, and then PBR.
Okay. Why not?
Why not?
Yeah, because then you cold plunge and you feel better about yourself.
That's really good. Okay.
I love it.
Okay, my last question for you is, okay, you're on your feet all day long, all of the time. Like, what are your shoes that you're wearing?
Danskos.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Good. Okay.
Dansko clogs.
Okay.
I did not.
Vans. Or you wear a pair of Vans all day.
That matches your vibe, yeah.
I moved into Crocs towards the end of my kitchen experience, and they were just so easy for me. I worked in a bakery, and it was constantly gross, and I could just throw those in the wash or rinse them off. Yeah. And they were just so comfortable on my feet. I hate to admit that I'm a Croc wearer, but
I'm questioning.
It definitely made a difference for me on my feet. Because other than that, I was wearing like a Dr. Scholl's non-slip shoe.
The Danskos, when I'm trying to be the pro.
Yeah.
And it's like, I say that, like, I wear them every day. Most of the time, I'm in a pair of Vans.
Yeah.
It's the reality.
That's okay. Danskos are great. They're super comfortable.
Yeah.
And where can people like find you, get connected? And our Walkers too.
I'm at Walkers. We have all of our social channels. So Facebook, Instagram for both of us. It's I couldn't tell you my own Instagram. I think it's Chef Nick SG or something like that. I don't know. You guys can pull up.
Yeah. Look up Nick Steen. We'll tag him.
But yeah, Facebook and Instagram for Walkers for sure.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us on The Vault.
Thanks for coming on.
Ladies.
This was a blast.
It was fun.
We hope you enjoyed this episode.
Make sure you are subscribed to The Vault at 201 North Broadway, wherever you podcast, including YouTube.
Connect with us on Facebook at The Vault at 201 North Broadway and Instagram at The Vault_201.
Don't forget to visit us at thevault@201.com and subscribe to our newsletter.
We will see you next time.
Bye. Big thanks to the Small Business Development Center for sponsoring The Vault at 201 North Broadway. The SBDC is an incredible resource for small business owners, offering free one-on-one counseling, business plan support, market research, financial projections, and much more. Whether you're just starting out or looking to grow, they're here to help your business succeed. Reach out to us at bigsky economicdevelopment.org.